Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we'll be discussing the pitfalls of dating in your 40s and how it can be frustrating for women. We'll also delve into a video where a woman exploits the death of her ex-boyfriend to portray herself as the suffering victim. Before we dive in, we want to express our gratitude for your presence here. Your support means the world to us. If you enjoy what you see, we invite you to subscribe to the channel and give us a thumbs up. We'd also love to hear about your experiences in the comments. Your engagement helps us grow and reach more people. Thank you for being a part of our project. Let's get started.
If you're over 40 and single, so one of the biggest struggles that I've heard from men who are over 40 and dating is this. You are jaded, so you're still hurt from your divorce, you're still hurt from your breakup, or maybe you're burnt out from those dating apps. You feel like women are puzzles. We don't have the energy anymore to try to solve them. I get it. After failed relationships, failed dates, paying for failed dinners, you're just burnt out. You're feeling more hopeless than ever. You're asking yourself, what would it take to finally meet a good woman? What would it take to finally meet my soulmate? I'm going to tell you bluntly, as both a registered psychotherapist and a relationship coach, number one mistake that men make is they bring this heaviness and this resentment on a date. So I see this cycle time and time again, and it just leads to even more ghosting or even more failed dating. This cycle isn't going to end if you don't learn how to break it. You need to start by learning what is holding you back from feeling excited, candid, and present in finding love.
A piece of advice to all men is to stop listening to advice from women with ridiculous titles they make up themselves. The first thing I recommend to a man, especially after turning 30, is to get his life in order. First, take time to tidy up your garden before bringing in the flowers. Although this may seem like it will take a long time, the truth is it won't. A year of giving it your all with discipline really takes you far. First, get your financial life in order. Work on your body to reach a healthy weight, not necessarily being muscular, although it helps. Take care of your face and teeth. Improve your home. Clean and comfortable home equals a healthy mind. A strong body boosts your self-esteem. Start improving your clothing. This can even help with women at the store because it's good to listen to advice from the opposite sex in this regard. After working on yourself, I recommend every man to have a photo shoot for two reasons: to always see your progress from your discipline and to use for your dating app profiles. Believe me, this works very well. Many men are actually handsome to about 60% of women, but they just never have a good photo shoot. Now, with women, for coffee dates, don't spend too much money. Someone hasn't earned it. And finally, never tell a woman your life story on the first day. Always keep some mystery. If you do these things, you'll not only see results in your dating life, but also a radical change in your life overall.
You are not the only one that hates online dating. But the truth is, I think there are some real reasons why it might be hard to get out into the world and meet people. Number one is that you don't know where to go, especially if you are over the age of 40 and you don't have the infrastructure of your social life like you did in college or when you were younger. It's hard to even know where to go. And that's why I like creating dating plans, like business plans, so that it forces you to get out into the world and be intentional when you're meeting people. Number two, you might be stuck in your head. You are sitting there thinking about all the reasons why you're not saying something to someone. You're hesitating before you don't know how to start a conversation. Maybe even your social muscles a little atrophied. All of those reasons could be keeping you in your little cocoon. And the third reason is that there's fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of uncertainty, fear of getting into another toxic relationship. You got to get out of your head and get into life and be intentional to start meeting people. And if you want to learn how, come to my new workshop series called Stop Hating Dating. Click the link below.
Here's another dating coach who sells you on how to have a partner without having one herself. The modern woman struggles with dating because men who seek them out on dating apps only want to take them to bed. Usually, these are men who have gone through divorce or a long-term relationship and don't want anything to do with another long-term commitment. Second, men have understood more about how dating works. They don't give themselves away. But something interesting I can take from here is having a strategy for dating. Once I met a man who was really successful with dating. He wasn't this high-value type with great physical appearance, but he knew how to sell a great experience. He would meet women at a cafe with a European style to have coffee, dressed casually but elegantly. After a good chat, he would take them to an amusement park to ride various attractions to increase their adrenaline and make them feel like they were having fun like when they were young. Then they would go for a walk on a boardwalk near the beach. The truth is, almost all of them ended up in his bed that day or days later because he sold them a super fun date. Doing this, in my opinion, is a great idea. It doesn't cost much, but you're selling a great experience because it makes you look like an interesting man with a great life, and you're selling the woman a great experience, which is what they love the most.
This is a picture of me and my ex-boyfriend. I make a lot of videos about being almost 40 and single, but I have had relationships before, and this is Nathan, my ex. The reason that I'm making this video is because about 3 weeks ago, I woke up to a text message from Nathan's friend, who's also an ex from before me, telling me that he had been given days to live. Now, if you are someone who watches my videos regularly, you'll know that my mum died when I was a kid, my sister died when I was 28, and this man, although our relationship didn't work out, we still remained in contact, we still remained relatively close, and I did not know, I knew that he had leukemia, but I didn't know how bad things were. So when I received the message to say that Nathan had been given days to live and was receiving end-of-life care, I went to the hospital where he was, and I went every single day except one day until he passed. And I was at the hospital with him and his family when he did leave and go. I don't want to say die because I just don't really like that word. So as you can imagine, the last 3 weeks have been a complete whirlwind because I was just living my life. Everything was going normally. And then suddenly I get this message and I just knew that I needed to be with him because I know that he would have done it for me at the drop of a hat. He would have been there for me regardless. And also because there's a lot of stuff that's been left unsaid and undone between us and can never be said now. And, you know, I wanted to make sure that I was there for him. And also just because I love him. Even though I fell out of romantic love with him, the amount of love that I have for this man is huge. And one of the reasons that this guy was so important to me and my life, and something about him that changed me and my life forever.
This woman seems to suffer from emotional attachment, perhaps due to the tragedies in her life. Remember that women always use stories about their ex-husbands or boyfriends to boost their channels. At least she changed the message from being married to the devil, claiming she was lucky to leave that relationship, the usual story. But notice that she will talk about her ex-boyfriend and their relationship. But if I heard correctly, the guy who warned her was a friend of her boyfriend, and he had a relationship with her before the boyfriend who died. It seems she dated her boyfriend's friends. In other words, she gives love to everyone. This doesn't happen among men because among firefighters, we don't step on each other's hose, but women have no sense of loyalty. She presented herself according to her story, claiming she was with the man all the time before he died, but she surely ruined a friendship by getting involved with two men who were friends. That, to me, tarnished your entire message of compassion, but let's continue.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Was the fact that during our relationship, whenever I would get upset about the fact that my mum and my sister are no longer here, which has happened a lot in my lifetime, as you can imagine, and when you're living with somebody and you're with someone, that's obviously going to happen. He was the person that would just hold me. He would never ask me what was wrong. He would never expect me to be different. He didn't need to make it better. He was just there for me. And that's the first time in my life that a man that I've been in a relationship with has ever done that for me. And it honestly helped me heal from some of the trauma that I've experienced. So now I am in a really strange space where I am feeling a little bit lost, if I'm honest, when it comes to content creation, when it comes to what I'm supposed to do next, all of that stuff, because as I said, I wasn't expecting this, and life was just ticking along, and then suddenly this has happened. But it's one of those things where now I'm in a kind of state of, I guess, like grief in a way, but life is so busy that I have to keep going at the moment. His funeral hasn't happened yet, so there's still that to go. I'm really close with his family, and I love them very much, and I'm super grateful that they allowed me to be there for him. But yeah, it just makes everything else in life seem just small and not really that important. And I'm just trying to find the purpose, I guess, to start creating again and start making content again. And just to deal with the fact that this person, who, by the way, was 30 years old when he died, is no longer here. So I just wanted to make this video because I'm always honest and authentic with you guys about what's going on in my life, and this is where my head, my heart, and I guess my soul has been for the last 3 weeks. I'm trying to live life, and I've had my brother's wedding since Nathan passed. I've had some great concerts to go to, but honestly I just feel like I want to shut myself in a room for a bit and just process what has happened. But yeah, I just wanted to let you all know. And I also wanted to point out that when it comes to grief, and like I said, I've been here before, that sometimes the hardest, most horrible things that happen to us in life, and this doesn't bring someone back or negate the fact that they're no longer here, can end up being the most inspirational thing or the most positive thing if we choose to allow it to be the spark that makes us change our lives. And I know that this guy was super supportive of what I was trying to do, and that I really feel like I need to take risks and leaps because life is not promised and life is really fucking short. And you know what, folks? Sometimes you love someone, it's the right person, it's the wrong time. And I am so grateful that I got to love and be loved by this person.
She feels bad because she can't make content. Knowing she's a modern single woman, you already know what content she's referring to. Now, I wonder, what's the need to seek attention using someone else's misfortune? Firstly, he's a friend of another ex-boyfriend. Secondly, she wasn't in a relationship with him. She left him. And yes, she may have loved him and all that, but not as the love of a man in my life. More like the love of a best friend, a shoulder to cry on. I won't hammer on about this man's life. May God rest his soul. But if he didn't call you when he was going through that, it's very low to use someone's life who passed away, who didn't ask for you to be there, to create content, to portray it as if it happened to you. Did you hear that right? He hugged me, supported me. This man gave me love, helped me heal several traumas. But still, you left him. So something was lacking. Content creators, honestly, there's something else. Everything that happens to her and around her becomes a video, but always framed as something that affected her, because if it doesn't serve to make money, it's not a sad story. This is really hitting rock bottom, brothers.
I'm so fascinated lately to see the sheer number of people who have been posting on social media regularly on people's accounts, but also on their own, about how concerned they are that women over 40 who are single and don't have children are going to be in for a hell of a ride, that we have no idea what's waiting for us, that we are going to be miserable and lonely, and they are so afraid for us. Now, I'm not talking about other women who are single and don't have children, who are expressing their own fears about how their future is going to play out and asking other women in their shoes if they have the same fears. I'm talking about people who are married or coupled who have children, who keep persistently posting this narrative that we're so worried about you. All you women out there, you have no idea the life that you're choosing. You have no idea what's waiting for you. Now, I'm just going to skip over the part here where I tell you that I'm well over 40 and happier than I've ever been in my life, because I have another point to make. I'm going to be generous here and even skip over the part where they're assuming that all of these things are choices that we have made. And sometimes they are, and sometimes they aren't, because that's the way life goes. They like to pretend that if you're a good person and if you're a wise person, you will just make a decision to get married and have children, and it will happen for you successfully and happily no matter what, which we all know is not true. What I really want to know is, why are they so obsessed with women who are single and don't have children? Why do they feel such a deep need to talk about us so regularly, and to go to the point of searching out our social media pages to have interventions with us to make sure we understand we are on the wrong path? What are they so afraid of when it doesn't affect their life in any way? And more to the point, how do they come up with the time to do this? Don't they have spouses and children to look after?
I'll tell you why. Because you've reached the wall and the wall doesn't forgive. Besides, you don't know how fun it is to watch videos from the wall of women hitting the wall. And another concern of men is that there are more expenses like children, more children born into the world. Now, joking aside, many women are attacked in these videos. The truth is, if it was their decision, and it's not an obsession, It's advice so that more women don't repeat their steps. Because if you don't like me talking about it, why do you also like spreading the idea that being single is the best? Because people don't want to hear that, especially men with sisters and daughters who don't want to see them at 40, alone, sad, and bitter with a cat. Our message is that the wall doesn't forgive, to make women make the right decision to be with a partner in their youth, not to give away their dignity to chads, not to follow the corporate path, not to live on the carousel or belong to the streets, not to end up as single mothers. It's a simple but real message, so if bad decisions have consequences, making content also has consequences because they will all lead you to the wall because the wall doesn't forgive. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, the questions are for you. Why do you think the modern woman is bothered by being alone at 40? Do you think it's okay for that woman to use her ex-boyfriend's story to make videos about her sadness? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to us and motivates us to create more content. Stay tuned for the next exciting video from the wall.